This is Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
The greatest generation should have called me. I could have saved them some pain. This is Wretched Radio. You know, those foolish men who stormed the beaches of Normandy, slaughtered, wholesale. Why didn't they just call and ask, what are better ways of bringing down Nazi genocide against Jewish people, black people, homosexuals? And I could have told them, you know, war, not really working out. After all, been fighting World War II for years now. Doesn't seem to be making much of an impact. They should have asked me. I could have told them. There's other ways of bringing down some of the extermination camps that perhaps fewer people would be gassed in Nazi Germany, in Poland, in other German territories. Because, you know, you don't have to fight a war to put an end to a Nazi dictator who wants to kill people he believes are less than he is. They should have called me. I could have given them all kinds of ideas. You know, for instance, had them read some literature from Jewish people that they might appreciate Jewish people more. That could bring the rate down, don't you think?
Might have convinced them.
Yeah, here's another. Why didn't they ask? We could have helped them with some economic programs so that the non-Jewish people who didn't appear to be as successful in business would actually get better at it and not be so jealous of the Jewish people. And then we wouldn't have had to fight the war and release these people from Treblinka. They should have called and asked me. And you, I hope, would think I'm absolutely off my rocker. And yet, that is precisely what we are being told today, not just by Veggie Tales people.
Broccoli, celery, gotta be vegetables.
Others are making the argument, hey, there's other ways of bringing down abortion so you don't have to worry about making it illegal. Good. Then let's not make exterminating Jewish people in gas chambers illegal. We don't have to have that position. It takes a long time to make that work anyway. And besides, we'd have to overturn the whole government. Let's be honest. They don't have the judges in Germany, so let's just focus on other ways and let it slide. Because I think somebody's a creep when he tweets. Okay. I'm mystified. I am absolutely muddled and mystified that the weighing of the issue is even remotely similar. Go through the checklist of laments that you might have, let's just say for the entire Republican Party. Go ahead. And let's just say for the sake of argument, granted. You can think of a person if you want to. Think of the entire party filled with rhinos. They never defend issues correctly. They tend to get squishy. They promise one thing, they do another. Okay. Granted, grant all of it. And they don't want to murder babies. Okay, next subject. Now, does being pro-life make you a wonderful candidate? No, but being pro-choice disqualifies you from being a candidate. We don't have to click our heels. Besides, seriously, I get it. I understand why it appears there's some duplicity on the part of evangelicals. Didn't you used to be all about morals and civility? Yeah, when it was an option. And it's not. But if you would dig down deeper, there were still issues. These are sinful people that we're voting for. It would be wonderful if they all met the standards of Titus 1. They're not going to. And I don't think that should be my litmus test. I'm voting for a sinner. And I think increasingly, as it appears, history happens in time, things change. But right now, on this date, it is highly unlikely you're going to get a born-again evangelical running for office with a viable chance of winning. Now, what do? I firmly believe that this is a helpful exercise to put yourself in a different century. Take yourself on a time machine trip back to century 1. And if you were given the option between voting for a Nero or a Caligula, you'd be going, all right, which one of these guys is a lesser creep? Which one of these guys is going to harm us less? Which one of these guys is going to do less evil? You're not promoting the bad things they do. You are trying to do what? Rescue people as they stumble to the slaughter. And I don't believe that you're culpable for the bad behavior or bad decisions of any politician when given the choices. A vote is a limited thing, considering the circumstances. I don't believe that it is necessary for a Christian to vote to have two moral choices. Besides, when you really dig down, are any of them really? Everybody's hands are dirty. They're sinners. And so we don't have the option of picking from perfection. And it used to be not that long ago. It was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Just this morning, I heard a snippet. It was one of those videos. I heard it in the background. It was Bill Clinton, and he was talking about we are a nation of immigrants and we're a nation of laws. Therefore, I am going to clean up the immigration system, and we are going to get people to come in here legally. If not, we're going to send them home. And then Barack Obama saying virtually the very same thing. Now we've got liberals talking like, no way, let everybody in. And we're going to make them all citizens. And you go, whoa, wait, wow, that's changed. Exactly. Things change. And the era changes. And society and culture changes. And we don't anymore. So now let's just say you've got two choices on the issue of immigration. They're both opposed to it. All right, and let's say that's a big issue for you, and you're just thinking it through on that issue alone, not like it's a litmus test issue, but it's an issue for you. What are you going to do? Say, well, I can't vote for either of them. You'd go, well, okay, which one of their policies is less worse? I guess I'm plugging my nose, and that's my guy. It would be wonderful to have those types of choices. That era seems to have passed. We are in a different time. And we are given different choices. And I believe the filter that we must use is a litmus test filter. And by the way, there is more than one, because the reality is, and increasingly, this is going to happen. I guarantee you this is going to happen. Most likely, both parties will become more liberal. And there's going to be other issues where you'd be like, excuse me, marriage, I'd like you to be defending marriage. And they're not. Okay, is it bad if both parties are anti-traditional marriage? Yeah. But one of them doesn't want to slaughter babies. Okay. Okay. All right. Not my favorite thing, but here we go. It is the issue du jour. And now there are other issues, most certainly for us to consider. From a selfish standpoint, I prefer the person who's for religious liberty. I prefer that because I'm a religious person and I'd like that liberty. The other guy isn't. Now, what if they both are anti-religious liberty? Does that mean, well, I'm not going to vote for anybody? Well, how's about you've got one who's aggressive and the other's passive on it? Wouldn't it be better to have the passive guy who appears, at least based on his speeches, that he's not going to be aggressively coming after you and your church and your university? Wouldn't it be better? But let's just say they are both anti-religious liberty. Where are they at on the life issue? Where are they at? Which one of them wants to shred babies in the womb? I'm telling you, I fear we need a wake-up call reminder about what this issue is. I wonder if we would not do well to, for 30 seconds, watch what happens to a baby. Watch it. You remember those videos? Remember? That was a big to-do out on university campuses that Christians wouldn't put those signs up showing dismembered babies from abortions. Now, it's interesting because we can put up pictures of a Holocaust slaughter.
Yeah, that's something Samuel Say actually did recently.
Compared the two?
Well, he had the pictures of babies dismembered. He was on the side of the street, and he actually was attacked a little bit.
Of course he was, probably by Christians. We need to remember what this thing is. It is absolutely as we read about Moloch and a nation sacrificing babies to idols. Oh, can you imagine putting your child on the scalding hot metal arms of a false god? Oh, those barbarians. Hey, Siri, where's Planned Parenthood?
Exactly.
Right down the street is Moloch. And how's about a candidate who wants to take your money to give it to that organization so that more of those Moloch sacrifices can be performed? We forgot this is not hyperbole. This is reality. And I am afraid way too many evangelicals have forgotten what it is. I truly would like to encourage you, if you are one of those who thinks that there is a way to vote for somebody who's pro-choice, please, I encourage you, go watch what happens to an image bearer of God. And then prepare as they are getting ripped to shreds and vacuumed out of the mother's womb. Explain to them your rationale for supporting the pro-choice candidate, and then be prepared to share that with millions of babies in heaven when you see them. Until tomorrow, go serve your king.
Houston, I think we have a few problems here.
Go ahead, Wretched One.
Besides the fact I'm wearing a cardboard helmet, Houston, you have got one of the biggest false teachers in the universe. Are you kidding? He is so rich.
How rich is he, Wretched One?
I can see his house from here.